I don't know if you saw as well this week, David Beckham announced he is the face of the Qatar World Cup. And immediately everyone was like, what are you doing, man? Don't do that.
Making lots of money, I'd imagine.
Yeah, I think it came out as like 270 million quid, which is...
That's what he got for it.
Yeah. A quarter.
270 million quid he got for being the face of the Qatar World Cup.
Yeah, that's the sponsorship.
Would you turn it down?
No way, I'd be all, put me on the billboards.
Oh my God.
It's
I mean,
insane.
every man has a price, but he's already rich, don't forget.
Yeah,
I mean,
that
for
is
me
the
or
thing.
you, when that's, let's say, well, look, two normal people, 270 billion, that's a life-changing amount of money. But for David Beckham, how much is that going to change his life?
Yeah, exactly.
From where it is.
Yeah.
Is he going to be even more comfortable?
Yeah. I'd buy more houses.
Yeah, maybe I'll buy another house. I don't know.
Yeah, 270
Jesus.
million.
That is sick.
That's crazy.
That is sick.
No, honestly, that is nonsense. Nonsense. All nonsense. But listen, I've been on that road before.
Nonsense. Talking nonsense. Why should we accept somebody talking nonsense? Like, what would you say? Just why are you talking nonsense about us? Why are you talking rubbish?
Hello, everybody, and welcome to a No Nonsense podcast with Cathal and Will. I mean, what a week, Will. Usually when we predict things will be boring and nothing will happen, it always does, but never like this.
Yeah.
Not to this extent.
We were so right.
I mean, obviously the big one, United Liverpool, but like there were 7-0, Chelsea Norwich, 5-2, Watford Everton. I mean, I don't know where this stacks on the all-time scoring days in Premier League history. It has to be up there. It has to be. I know that graphic they always use on Boxing Day in 1969 or whatever. I mean, it wasn't quite that now, but I mean, Jesus, I don't think I've ever seen that many goals in the weekend.
Yeah.
Recently, anyways, nothing springs to mind.
Yeah.
Like even the 9-0, I don't think there's another 3 or 4-1 somewhere else. It was just.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, obviously there was a lot of talking points, but the one that we're all going to be talking about.
Yeah. Very kind of Solskjaer to, as soon as we said on the podcast, we're fed up talking about this. Like, this needs to end soon. Very kindly, it's happened, I think.
It was just unbelievable. I mean, when the fourth goal went in, it was like, Jesus, like, no, maybe not the fourth goal. The fifth goal, because the one after half time, 5-0. The one after half time was like, you had a whole half to reassess.
Imagine 2-1. That would have been an amazing result.
And then, Paul Pogba comes on and immediately gives the ball away and they get a fifth goal. You're like, oh my God, surely you were talking about this at half time. Sure, you were talking about Salah. He's on a hat trick. I mean, what a cameo from Paul Pogba. All the stuff that we've criticised him for, coming on, giving the ball away.
I mean, I was in work when the game was on, so I had to follow it on my phone through Twitter, which is never good because like you're sifting through the non-stop like abuse and hate and just hot takes and stuff to get the score.
And that's just my Twitter feed.
That's just our one, yeah.
Yeah, sorry, that's just me tweeting from No Nonsense account.
But they're like, during the first 15 minutes, it was flooded with like lads with Pogba pictures or like Greenwood pictures being like, Fred and McTominay again, like this fucking manager, like, no Pogba, where's Pogba, where's Pogba, where's Pogba? He's like, have you not been watching the last few years? Like, he's not going to make a difference. And then he came on and he did exactly what he does whenever things aren't going the team's way. He fucked it up again. It reminded me of, who was it? I think it was against West Ham when they were losing. And he got sent off because he blocked the ball with his hand in the wall.
Oh, yes, yeah.
Yeah, it reminded me of that. It's just when things aren't going well, he just loses his head.
Yeah. And even taking Greenwood off, who's been in pretty good form this season, like when you need a goal, it's like, now I know that the Pogba's been the best when he plays out in the wing. I know why they did it, but even still, it's like, like you're saying, is Paul Pogba the man to turn it around ever?
Yeah.
No, So it was a kind of a controversial decision to take Greenwood off in the first place, but then to bring on Pogba and to have the cameo he did. I mean, the sending off, it was just like...
The tackle was ridiculous. I mean, when even Gary Neville is like, "Oh, what are you doing? You know, you fucked it." Playing against Liverpool, he's like, "That tackle was a bit much, I think."
Yeah, well, the thing was, like, say they gave up a little bit, but I mean, the real thing was when Pogba went off, because I think Maguire said this in the interview afterwards. Oh yeah, that's when the game was over. It was the sending off because we couldn't attack anymore. Really. It's like, yeah, and then they couldn't catch you on the counter again.
Yeah.
So Pogba getting sent off actually helped. Is what his best contribution was getting sent off, because it meant that they couldn't, aimlessly press forward and try and Liverpool just like play easy passes around you and score another goal. So, that was the thing. Wasn't it a Klopp masterclass? No one's called this a Klopp masterclass. Everyone's like, that was just terrible from United.
I don't think it was, because any of the goals were pretty much just like, I don't think there was no like moments of brilliance from Salah or anything like that. He didn't do like 4 players at once. It was just simple passing, and then they were in the back of the net. Even one of them, I think it was the second goal, Luke Shaw and Maguire ran into each other like two cartoon henchmen.
yeah, it was really, really bad. And like, in terms of like a masterclass, we were saying at during the week there for the Champions League that's what Atletico were fearful of. That's why they sat back, because like if you attack Liverpool, they will absolutely cut through you. There's no question. Whereabouts, playing the ball in front of you and creating chances, they will try and get you on the counter. And United just ran right at them, like just headlong into this oncoming train.
It's that whole like the United way. We always attack.
Yeah.
That doesn't mean anything. It's stupid. Like, it's not. You do what wins you the game. You don't just fucking do something because that's what you're known for.
Yeah, like you do. You talk to some United fans. I even hear pundits. I heard Gary Neville saying he doesn't think Conte is a good fit because I guess defensive style isn't the way Man United play or whatever. And he talked about they don't want to just get hit men in 1 or 2 seasons. And it's like kind of like you don't know how. They know how arrogant he sounds. Like, the Man United way.
We're above this. We're above what every other club does.
Yeah, and like, if you're going to start talking about, football shouldn't be like that. It shouldn't get managed. Like in any job, how long do you have like Alex Ferguson type managers who are there for 26 years? Like the manager doesn't own the club. He just works there. So like if that, and like Klopp has been there 6 years now.
Something
6,
like
7 years. And he was. I know they were talking some. Obviously, the game is great and all. Whatever happens in the game is great. But when it comes to Man United games and Sky Sports and Liverpool, it's all about Gary Neville and Jamie Carragher.
Oh my God, I'm fucked up of them. I never want to see them again.
They had them both in the box with Martin Tyler, who solemnly reported on every goal. Oh, it's too easy.
Oh, another one.
that got me actually. Right. It's too easy for the second goal. Like he was like getting mad. Like, this is too fucking easy. This isn't good enough, boys. We watched it in the pub, and surrounded by Liverpool fans, as you know, and like this, the cheers. It like the first 30 minutes, 2 goals in, it was just like insane. The level of hype around the goals going in. So then when I watched back, on Match Today and stuff, or watch the highlights, you could see Martin Tyler like, oh, okay, number 3. Just such a contrast to it. But yeah, the whole manager style and like this attacking style. I was thinking about this. This must be like the most media aware team I've ever seen. This Man United team.
Yeah.
Like.
Yeah.
It's all been about Ronaldo pressing and he doesn't work hard enough for the team. And we were talking about there. Had the interview with Jeff Shreves during the week. This kind of PR offensive here. Let's get Ronaldo out there on TV. I know they would do it with Sal as well, and it was probably a Sky Sports thing, but like, that he's addressing the haters, I guess, addressing the people who say he doesn't press enough, or doesn't track enough in all these defensive duties.
Yeah, he's been reading the comments about it.
Yeah, exactly. And then when the game comes out and you have Greenwood and Rashford, Greenwood and Wan-Bissaka for that first goal, like rushed out.
Yeah.
And like you're pressing them, you're meant to be up on them when they get the ball, not like just before they get the ball. You run towards them, and then they turn around, they see the gap that be left behind you, and they pass. It was like Greenwood, then Wan-Bissaka, then Lindelof was out in the right back position.
Yeah.
Then it was into, I think, Salah. So then it's Luke Shaw left, Salah in front of him. Keita then behind him because he's come from midfield. This domino effect of them all like rushing out towards the ball. And it's like pass, goal in the first 5 minutes.
Yeah.
And it's like, who cares what people say that you're not pressing enough? Like, this is the game you don't press. This is the game you don't take any risks.
It's that like arrogant thing of like, oh, we're so above, like we can't possibly not be attacking, even though like United are like, what, the 5th or 6th best team in England the last few years? Like, they're nowhere close to half the bigger teams now. So it's just so stupid to be like, oh, the United way, and like, oh, back when me and Rio Ferdinand were playing, we won every game. It was that easy. Like, it's not how it's reached, like, and still never saying anything about Solskjaer. Always like, oh, well, the players aren't trying, or this or this. It's like, man, give over.
And then, of course, they have Jermaine Defoe and Graham Souness in the box. But then after the game, they bring Carragher and Neville in afterwards. So like there's like 5 of them in this tiny little studio.
Yeah.
And it's just this Gary Neville trying to defend Ollie against Carragher and Souness going in on him. And then Jermaine Defoe hasn't said a word. He's just like sitting there.
Yeah, all talking over each other.
And no, and look, the thing is, they're all viral clips for Sky, That's all.
Yeah.
Remember when we watch the game, we all want to watch Gary Neville try and defend Ollie this time,
Yeah.
But yeah, he said that Conte isn't the right fit, and that he said he sacked a manager himself. 6th game of the season, he should have waited to the end of the season. Let the team breathe. And it's like,
do you know what happened when he sacked that manager as well? They got promoted with the new manager. Salford got promoted that year.
Yeah.
So it worked. Shut up, man. What are you talking about?
And that's one example, but like there's so many other glaring examples. Like, I mean,
Tuchel won the Champions League.
Tuchel won Champions League last year. And you might say he had a better team or blah, blah, blah. But I mean, you look at, who was the manager before Klopp?
Was it Rodgers?
Brendan Rodgers, exactly. Yeah. He had a really good season. He nearly won the league. Didn't.
Mm-hmm.
The next season starts to kind of fall apart. He bought Balotelli. It was all kind of look like this guy maybe isn't as good as we thought he was.
Mm-hmm.
Klopp is available. This pioneering manager in Dortmund.
Yeah.
Get him in. Yeah. And at the time it was that was another viral clip where Henry touches Carragher's leg, and it's like, oh,
because it was that shocking that they did it that quick.
Yeah,
like, that's not what you do, but it worked.
It was ruthless, because but he nearly won the league last year and all this, and this is just so unfair, and they haven't looked back since. They've won the league, the Champions League. I mean, this kind of thing, and they were all saying it. Graham Souness was saying that as well. He's like, I would never say to sack a manager, and then goes on to say this manager's terrible and they need somebody new. But I would never say it.
I would never say sack Ollie. I'm just saying Man United's manager is shit and there's better managers.
Yeah.
That's all I'm saying.
So it's a weird kind of thing where they have these players on. I like the Ronaldo thing is another one. Where they go, is Ronaldo maybe part of the problem? Go, listen, I'm not going to sit here and criticize the best player there ever was, arguably. It's like, well, I didn't say that. I'm asking you right now. Like, and this is the thing that obviously the parallels between Rodgers is like he almost won the league, had a good year. Like, at the start of the season, I know I was bringing up, but the thought of United coming fourth to you, it just was like
unheard of.
It couldn't be, because they had last year was a really good year, and then you bring in Varane and Sancho, and it's like, well, they're upgrades, definitely. Like, surely,
they were the problem areas.
Yeah. So now you look at it's 6 weeks later, you have the Atalanta game. which was crazy, and then you have this game. It's like, yeah, there's no way they're going to win the game, they win the league. There's absolutely no chance that they're going to win the league.
Yeah.
So it's like this is,
and like I get the like not thinking Conte is a fit, but I think that's more just because they've spent the last few years building a squad that wouldn't play the same way as Conte would. So
yeah,
it's going to be the same thing as a new manager comes in. He has to spend the first season getting rid of players that don't suit him and getting in more new players, and it's just a cycle. But that's why you bring him in now, so you can do that straight away. You don't wait until the summer and then bring him in, and then it's another season of him trying to see what the team is like, and then he's actually allowed to buy players and stuff. Like, do it now.
Yeah.
Get it done in January. Like, have the ball rolling.
Because that's the thing. If you bring him in now, people say, "Oh well, look, he didn't build a squad. Give him time. He can use a team and he can see who he rates, who doesn't, what he thinks needs fixing, and then he has the. I'm not saying you write off the season either, obviously, But if you bring him in, say in August next year, towards the end, like just before it, and then he comes in, and then it's the start of the season. You go, well, this is you've had the whole season and you're not doing well. It's just one of those things. So it's like, I don't know. It's Man United way. He's not an attacking coach. He's not this. He's not that. But like,
and like I think those like that whole like, oh, it's not the United way or all this, or like I saw an article earlier today saying like Conte goes against the board. They're wary because it goes against their long-term planning. And it's like, when since Fergie have they been long-term? They've had like 5 different managers. They change every 2 years. Ryan Giggs was managing United for 6 months. Right? It's just like there's no long-term plan anymore. No club really does that unless you just hit gold with a savage manager. Yeah, there was. Did you see? So I can't remember who it was, but someone asked him which result is worse, Ollie, the 6-1 against Spurs last year or the 5-0 here today.
Yeah, and essentially he said, "No, I can't leave now. Not when we're so close."
That sounded like, "Please don't fire me."
Yeah, and I was just thinking, like, it was such a like. It was tough to watch afterwards. It was like, oh Jesus, this is
I mean, that's his whole thing. Is he's very positive and he's pretty likable. So when the positive is gone, then it's just like, oh, this is a sad man. He needs help.
But he comes out and he's like, this is the darkest day in United history. It's like, oh God, don't say that. Like, you remember the Ferguson interviews and stuff like that would come out. And he's like, did you see what that linesman did in that second half? No. You didn't see it. Well, if you want to, after you do your job as a journalist, you fucking report things that actually matter. And like, you completely distract from what's actually going on.
I can't remember who it was. Might have been Martin Tyler. It was like one of the big commentators was banned from asking Ferguson questions because
the
first
BBC,
question, yeah, because he asked him. He was like, "What did you think of the referee's performance?" And he's like, "Don't you ever ask me anything like that again. I'm not speaking to you ever again."
Yeah,
because immediately he was like, "Boom, perfect. That's my excuse done. I'm angry about this now. Forget about the game."
Yeah, and that became the story. The fact that we're still talking about it now, like, and that was the key to us. But like Solskjaer was just like any of us. Like, how's that really bad?
that was the worst game I've ever seen.
I feel terrible after that. I am under so much pressure. I mean, I don't know what to do, lads. Like, that's what you would say if you're in that situation. But like, that's why the experienced managers get paid millions of pounds a year, because they can handle these situations. I think the first thing he said is we have to look at ourselves as individuals. Like, immediately throws the players on the bus. Well, not in like a Jose Mourinho like pre-planned.
It was. I did well. They didn't. He was like, we've all failed.
Yeah.
We're failing massively.
Where he decided in training that week was like, oh, I am going to do you. The next interview, you are getting thrown right on that bus, and I'll be the one driving it. You know what I mean? Like, Solskjaer was like, whoa, they were better than all of our players. Did you see Harry Maguire out there? Jesus, he got skint.
Salah's so fast.
Yeah, Luke Shaw was at 6 and 7s on Salah, wasn't he?
I don't know if you saw. Did you see what Luke Shaw said after the game?
Oh, yeah.
He said like, "Oh, a result like that was coming." Don't say that.
Yeah.
Stop it. You're on the pitch. That's why I was laughing so much at that Lingard clip where like he was just standing and someone in the crowd was like, "Work harder." And you looked at him, he's like, "I'm not even on the pitch, man. Like, what? Yeah. What do you want me to do?"
Yeah. But this is what I mean. There's no like the kind of media aware. They're all very aware of like what the fans are saying and what Gary Neville is saying on M&F every week. You know, and like Harry Maguire comes out and starts apologizing to the fans.
Yeah.
Like, why are you apologizing to the fans? Did you do that on purpose? Obviously not. Like, you know, you are doing your job is to come out and play football. Yes, you're obviously contractually obliged, as you divulged, to come out and talk about this. But like, don't go, I'm so sorry that we lost. You deserve better than that. It's like, you know, Jesus, like, if you're actually going out and playing, or like, you know, if you were injured, which I think he is actually, you know.
Yeah, he's definitely not fit, yeah.
He's not 100% fit, and maybe if you want to apologise for like, look, I thought it was fit, it was a self-decision, I wanted to play. Like, that's, you know, a decision you made that was wrong. But like, if you're going out there, you're trying your best to play, and you get beaten by their team with, you know, superior tactics or whatever. Yeah, you just don't need to apologise. But like, you know that they're reading the Reddit, they're reading the Twitter, they see how mad these fans are, and like, oh, I better apologise to the fans because they'll be mad after this one. It's like, you really can't be, you know, getting involved in that.
That's the thing. See, I think comes from Ollie, because that was the whole thing with Ferguson, was the like, it's us against them, like you always have to be Man United. But I don't think that works anymore, because now it's like them is the entire world, and they're posting comments directly at your brain. It's not like it used to be, where it's just like a few headlines or the fans in the crowd. Now it's constant criticism. It can't be us against them, because it's like, you're not going to win that.
Yeah, it's hard to kind of delude a whole group of people anymore.
Yeah, exactly.
Because there's so many media voices out there. Like, I mean, like I said, the viral clips of Gary Neville or someone, and you can hear like a 30 seconds, you know, clip of someone eviscerating your performance. It's hard to ignore that. It's hard to say, oh, he's on, starts playing, and like when you hear your own name, like, or Man United, you're like, oh, that's about us. You know, you're just going to keep looking. It's hard to block it out. It's much harder to block it out. Like, even, you know, when they lost the Europa League final and they're all ripping off the medal for the cameras, like, again, that was for the fans, because they know what the fans would be saying. This isn't big, you know, we're Man United, you know, we don't take silver medals for anything. Like Maguire was like, you know, it hurts. Losing Liverpool hurts. And then he corrects that. He goes, losing any game for Man United hurts. Remembering what he should say. You know what I mean? Like, what do you actually think? You know, or not. Just come out and say nothing. Be bullish. You know.
It does seem like, remember last week we were saying, like, there's so many players in that team that are like, they are diehard Man United fans. Like, I'm sure Rashford and Greenwood. I think Maguire and Wan-Bissaka were both United fans. Like, that seems to be something Ollie actively was looking for. But now I think that's a detriment, because they care so much that whenever they fuck up, they're like, oh God, what have I done to the club I love? Yeah. Like, you need a few mercenaries to just be like, fuck it, I'll just win the next game or whatever. Like,
yeah. Well, I mean, this is what the mercenaries, speaking of mercenaries, that's what we were saying about Cavani. He's like, 34, is he really going to be a good fit? You know, is this kind of the Man United way? More is kind of Man United way shit. Like, we need kind of, you know, people who love the club kind of thing. Yeah. And like I say, now it's to the point of like, people are just so obsessed with everything that everyone says about them. And it culminates in them like rushing out. Like, the whole, you know, Ronaldo doesn't press and they're pressing side, you know, which all the other times that Liverpool were going well and going to win the league, and then United would draw or win with them, terrible. Yeah. This is like a renowned terrible game. For that reason, that, like, you know, if Liverpool know that Man United are going well, or vice versa, they go, well, they're not going to fucking kick 5 past us today. We got to sit back and watch this, you know, because it's such a big game. Whereas these are like, oh no, we have to press extra hard to show people that
we have to prove we've got your back, Ronaldo. We're going to run our hearts out.
Yeah, that kind of like overcompensating for it, and then just passed it around them. I mean, it was just incredible. You know, I know they're missing Varane, and Lindelof is a bit of a downgrade from that, but like, it was just, the whole thing was just so unorganised. And like I said, the fifth goal going in directly after half time is like, well, what did you say at half time then? Like, what did you fix? Nothing, obviously.
Surely you fucking go and park the bus. You put 11 lads standing on the line after fucking 4-0 down against Liverpool at Old Trafford. Yeah. Because, like, any more, like, you're not coming back from that, and any more goals going in, you're fucked. Like, you're embarrassed. You already are. So just stop what you're doing. Yeah. And they immediately, whistle went, sprinted at them.
Pogba loses the ball, it's down to their end, and Jeff Shreves asked him, and this thing as well, I just again, you imagine, like, I guess Conte is obviously the one you're thinking of, but like Conte or Simeone or Ferguson getting asked the questions that Jeff Shee was asking them, like they would be so mad. Where Solskjaer was like, hands up, I'm sorry, man, I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
He's like, at what point was it damage limitation? And like, can you imagine?
Fergie would have boxed them.
He'd have blown a gasket. You know what I mean? He's like, oh, that's an unfair question. I don't think you're a terrible reporter.
Yeah.
But Solskjaer was like, after the fourth goal, that was when it was really fucked. Because we would then have to score a goal every 15 minutes, he said.
Yeah.
It was like, what? Why is it like, when you get comebacks, usually the 2 or 3 goals are scored within 5 minutes of each other almost. You know what I mean? It's like,
was he thinking that on the sideline, honestly? Okay, 15's asking a bit much. I couldn't believe when Klopp was, when he was saying about, being professional, you didn't want to embarrass, you never want to embarrass an opponent, blah, blah, blah. One of the things he said, he was like, look, 4 goals, very good, but it's still Man United. And then he goes, 5th goal. I mean, come on.
When I saw that was when he was like, and that's the thing, after the 4th goal, it was damage limitation. And then the first thing after half time is a goal. So what was damage limitation? If that was your damage limitation, I'm telling you, Pogba going off was the only thing that saved them from being 6 or 7. I don't think Klopp actually called off the dogs or any of that kind of stuff. I think they were just exploiting very obvious holes that Man United were giving them on the plays.
Yeah, it's just like, there's no one there.
Like, there's no way he said, Salah, okay, look, you've got 2 goals here now, Salah. I think that's enough. Or
yeah, that's why I couldn't believe that injury. I was like, there's no way.
No. Or when he brought on Man, he's like, listen, man, I know you're probably raging to not be playing, but don't score, yeah?
Yeah, come on, we've done enough here.
This is Salah's day, which I know you love, No, I do. The parallels I see with Liverpool when they sacked Rodgers was like, from the year they almost won it was all goals, all great, to the next you're like, oh, what's happened? It's like,
it's just how it is. Yeah.
It's just how it is. It doesn't matter how it's happened or why. Yeah. Like, is this the man to fix this? Is the real question, not what's happened. Is like, whatever has happened, do we have faith in Solskjaer to fix this?
I mean, I was thinking this as well. I feel bad for him because, like, they gave him a new contract in July. He did his original contract. It was done in July. I think if you let him go in July, that is a job well done. That's 3 pretty good years. They improved every year. Built a pretty good squad for next manager. He'd be looked at fondly. Don't give him a new deal. You know it's not going to last another 3 years. Sort it out then. And they gave apparently all the backroom staff and new deals in July as well. They're all going to be gone as well. What are you doing?
Yeah, that's the thing as well. It was Souness was saying that whatever sacked him, but he needs help. He needs better coaches around. So he was actually calling for the backroom staff be sacked rather before he'd said the manager.
I would never call for a manager to be sacked. Just him and all the people around him to leave for some reason.
However, the assistant manager is fair game, because I never was assistant manager got sacked, I guess. This is Souness' logic. And he was saying about Ronaldo 36 doesn't press, etc. You can't play that way with Ronaldo on the team. And it's like, you should have said to him, listen, you're not going to play every game. That's just how it is. That's the plan here. It's like Solskjaer was denying any connection to Ronaldo when the signing was announced. He had no idea, no input at all. He wasn't telling Ronaldo anything. He was like, you have Ronaldo. So the deal was already done, and then Solskjaer would go, listen, man, you're not going to play every game. And then Ronaldo going, well, that's not what I was told. That wasn't that wasn't the I signed. What's this? So
do you know how much I'm being paid, Ollie? I think I will be playing every game, or you look awful.
Yeah, like there is no, to say that. I was like, well, what are you on about? Like, that makes no sense at all. To say that it's just, it's all his fault now that Ronaldo's there. I don't know. Like Leicester are very similar to Liverpool in terms of the pace they have the break, just not as good or as much. Conceded 4 against them, 5 against Liverpool. Like, you can't say you got caught in the hop, is what I'm trying to say. You know what I mean? Because he had Atlanta the weekend, he scored, he conceded 2.
Paul Scholes literally said it. He said this is going to happen.
Yeah.
There's no excuses at all. But even we've been saying it. I think we said 2 weeks ago, we were like, oh, they're going to get hammered in that game.
Yeah, and that's well. Not if we press really high. Watch this. You know that was the response.
What if we do exactly what Liverpool think we'll do?
Yeah. No, it was unbelievable, really, for United, and it's all, like I say, it was all because it was all about how United are bad. I mean, Liverpool. I think we're the only ones who are saying how good they've been for the last few weeks. I guess people expected of Salah and they expected of.
They're next level. They're so good.
Like, they've been on such a tear. Like, the way they played against Atletico Madrid. I mean, if you could play that against Atletico Madrid, you could play that way against anybody. Yeah. You know, they're such a good defensive team. So this was coming. They have been in unbelievable form. Salah has been in unbelievable form.
Yeah.
You know, so I mean, we did say this is a good chance for them to win the league. They look pretty good. I mean, before the game, but they have had injuries. Obviously, the Pogba tackle on Keita. It's as bad as it looked, I guess. The tackle. He went off on a stretcher. We said that Liverpool would be very unlucky to have the injury issues they had last year. They're well on the way. We're only 9 games in, and they are dropping like flies. I mean, they started Milner. I mean, I was with a United fan, as you know, and when they saw the midfield, it was Milner, Henderson, Keita, and he goes, that midfield gives me hope, actually. I didn't know they were that light, because you wouldn't see Milner starting big games. Keita, he's on a goal-scoring form the last couple of games, but, like, you know, he hasn't been a regular in the squad. You know, obviously, when they lost Wijnaldum, people said, oh, that's a huge loss for them. He's so important to them. So, obviously, he's gone. Keita's gone. I think Milner got injured as well, actually. I think that's why he went off. Didn't he? And then Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain came on. Any Arsenal fans listening will know that he will not last the season. And then you had Curtis Jones who came on, who I mean, he got kicked. Let's see what happened. He got kicked in the balls.
Ronaldo had enough of this fucking game, and he kicked a man in the dick. It reminded me of remember the Portugal-Ireland game where Ronaldo was lashing out at Irish players like, get the fuck off me.
You piece of shit. You know I am. Yeah, he was fed up the whole situation. He was too good to be 4-0 down, that's for sure. And Curtis Jones did that really annoying thing where you see the ball out, you put your body in the way and you see the ball out, and everyone wants to, oh, fuck you on it. You see a lot of those, like, those Sunday League viral clips where someone just says, oh, fuck this, and they kicks him in the back of the calf. Ronaldo just swung his leg around to try and push him over, kicked him. Well, he kicked the ball. The ball was there. And then he kicked him again. Like, the ball, he kicked the ball into his nuts. It was like, Jesus, like, you can't do that. Like, you really can't. It reminded me actually of, like, Hazard got sent off for that, doing that to the ball boy. It's essentially the same thing.
Yeah, he wasn't not even a player.
Yeah, maybe that's worse. But, like, hey, we read the rules last week. Player, official, ball boy, fast food salesman, or whoever it is. If you serious foul play, you know, I guess it fell under the going for the ball. But, like, I think the whistle had gone and he gave another kick. So, I mean, technically he wasn't in play, so that's not going for the ball, I guess. You know, a bit of a hubbub. Then everybody kind of ran over, and Robertson put his finger and said, "Hey, you cannot do that. That's not very nice." I think if it was anybody else on the United team, they might have got the red card there. Because it was Pogba, it was like, oh, I'm not going to send off Pogba here. I'm sorry, not Pogba, Ronaldo. I'm not going to send off.
Yeah, it's like, oh, I don't want to listen to it.
I mean, it's 4-0 down in Old Trafford. It's half time, and now you're going to send off Ronaldo. I mean, you don't want this game to actually go 8-0 and have to be police escorted out of the building.
Yeah, that's what happened last time.
So I actually don't really blame him for it, but it was insane seeing the Texans come out on Ronaldo. Like, I know he doesn't like to lose, obviously, but
it does come out in him though. Like, because it really reminded me of the Ireland game. Remember where he? I can't remember who it was. I think it was Malumbi or someone kicked the ball away for the penalty. And
and he kind of slapped out at him like, "What? How? You can't do that."
Yeah, do you know who I am?
Yeah.
So it does come out in him when things aren't going well.
So yeah, when the point was that Curtis Jones came on. I mean, he's pretty decent, but like for the rest of the season, has to play City. I think twice. They haven't played City yet. Have the Liverpool.
Speaking of, United are playing City in 2 weeks. Oh no.
again, this is. If you thought this was a pro United podcast, once again, we're talking like Liverpool beating United 5-0 in Old Trafford. Like this is bad signs, Liverpool. This is not, things aren't going well for Liverpool again. You know, I know they've won 5-0 again, but still, look at that midfield. It's life.
It's twice in a month we've been like, I know this is the best they've ever looked, but that's actually a bad thing.
Yeah. So I don't know. That's the only thing for Liverpool fans out there. Obviously, a great weekend, but the injury to Keita, who has had issues with Keita, the last thing needed was to be two-footed by Pogba. So I don't know. Do you think Liverpool could go on to win it? Are they in that kind of irresistible form? I mean, obviously, it won't last the whole season, but
no, I think still it'll be Chelsea or City because that's just how it is now. It's just when you have two starting 11s, you're going to do better in the league because the games mount up. Like once you're further in the Champions League and further in the FA Cup and you're flying all over the place, I think that's when the injuries really start piling up then.
Yeah, it's usually the end of the season where the injury crisis starts, not at the start of the year, you know. I'm just saying, Liverpool fans, you know, it's all good now.
Hold your horses,
Like if they were 10 points ahead in the league now, you'd say, they can probably soak up a bit of an injury crisis. But like Chelsea are going well, City are going well. It's changing very quickly at the top. So if they were to have a bad run of results, plus the African Cup of Nations is also on the horizon, which will include Salah and Mane. And
do you see they miss 8 games if you get to the final of that?
Yeah.
That's crazy. 8 games is so many.
Yeah. Is Konate French or is he an African player?
I think he's French. I could be wrong.
I'm not sure.
But I mean, Mane, Salah, fucking who else?
Keita, if he's fit.
Yeah.
Again, like it's you three of your best players or three of your players of your starting 11 when you don't have a huge squad like City or Chelsea. It's it happened to Chelsea many years when they used to use Drogba and Kalou in the middle of the season. It was killer for them. So it sounds so 5-0 and I don't think they're going to win the league this year. I think they're not very good and they're playing so well and we're the ones saying they're playing so well, but was anything else then?
So do you think Audie will have the job come the next episode?
Yeah, well, at the time of recording, there's this huge dramatic graphic on Sky Sports Twitter that says "Contact made" with Conte.
Like an alien, as you said.
Yeah, I said it's like an extraterrestrial. I mean, it's not contact with people on Mars. Like it's just. And
I saw as well Simon Stone, who's like the BBC reporter for Man United, and he's like the most club mouthpiece, like whatever the club tells him what to report, basically.
Yeah.
And he had an article today saying, is Ollie on the brink of being sacked? Ask the man who knows. So I would imagine he's going pretty soon.
Yeah.
That's not how you do it. You don't say like, oh yeah, he's gone tomorrow. You say like, oh, I wonder, could he possibly be, to fucking prep for it, like. And I saw he also said in that article that Moyes and Jose were both sacked after Sunday games and they were replaced Tuesday morning at 9 a.m. He's like, just bringing that up.
Yeah, there was a lot of parallels and I Sky Sports all day today. A little bit hungover, obviously, just watching Sky Sports. And it was all about the previous hat-trick scores against United, the previous hat-trick scores in Old Trafford. Yeah. You know who the last one was to score a hat-trick?
Ronaldo, wasn't it?
Yes,
Old Ronaldo.
Ronaldo Navarez.
When he got the standing ovation.
Yeah, he scored a hat-trick for Real Madrid. That was literally Zidane, Raul, Figo.
Potentially United's new manager playing for them.
Yeah, but like also one of the greatest teams, maybe. A collection of some of the greatest players ever, all in one.
And I think that game was like 4-3 or something mental as well. Like that wasn't like a hammering. No. It was a close game.
So it doesn't happen often. So I mean, hats off to Salah, I guess. You're in a very special club.
He did not get the standing ovation Ronaldo got.
No, there was no standing ovation. But yeah, like I say, I was watching in the pub, and I remember this bit where like the ticket's 5-0 and they pan to Fergie, and he's
I know the shot.
Looking, angry, confused, very old.
Yeah, he was like shaking his head. So sad.
And the whole crowd of Liverpool people there like cheered, like, oh, yeah, fuck him. And then it pans to Kane Dalglish, who's literally laughing and like jolly, and it's like a massive roar in the pub when they see Dalglish. And then it was like the shot that I always associate with the Arsenal United 8-2, just of that scoreboard.
Oh yeah,
it's such a simple shot, but it's like so dramatic every time I see it. It's like 5-0. It's like, oh my Jesus! Like, how is it happening?
Because I think Old Trafford and Anfield don't have screens in the stadium. They just have the old scoreboard.
Yeah.
Because they're like, oh, keep that. We're gonna have some real historic moments with that.
Yeah. And boy did they on Sunday. Yeah. So yeah, I don't know. It was an unbelievable game. I don't know where you go from here with this.
You can't. It's impossible to tell before.
No,
because like if they keep him, they won't be keeping him long. He's not coming back from this. Like, I mean, today and yesterday was bombarded with stuff about like losing the dressing room and the players don't really get it anymore, and you don't come back from that.
No.
So I mean, if he's not gone this week, he'll be gone next week. Like, so it's hard to tell where it goes next.
Even if they beat Tottenham and they barely beat Atlanta at home, you can't, like 5-0.
Yeah,
like,
I mean, I think he was done when Sky Sports made a point of showing how many fans were leaving Old Trafford like an hour into a game. That doesn't happen to anyone. I mean, like they literally had a drone shot of outside of the stadium. Like, look at all these people.
The TV director had a blinder.
Oh, I mean, he great game. Yeah,
he just nailed all those shots.
Yeah. We need a drone, quick. I mean, if you think about it, the Fergie to Dalglish shot, because he must have had like 20 screens in front of him, and he's like, camera 1, and he went, oh my God, go to camera 9.
Yeah, it was incredible. It was really, like I say, captured the moment in history there. Yeah, you have to feel that was it. Like that's got to be the last time we talk about Solskjaer getting sacked. Surely we can't have another week.
Surely, until he's sacked from the Ireland job.
Yeah. Oh God. Yeah. Well, that's the thing. Like, he's not going to get a job after this. Like,
no, I saw there's like a Norwegian journalist who like reports on a lot of his stuff.
Yeah.
And today he brought up an old article saying how all his plans are Man United, take a break, manage Norway. So I'd imagine, because like he can get away with managing that. I think he'll get that job. I mean, when do you never hear of Norway? But
well, you don't. But I mean, if you have a really good team, like you might not do it now, and you feel like you've wasted this with the manager being there for too long, like Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, when you have Odegaard and Haaland in their prime, do you then bring in Ole Gunnar Solskjaer?
I forgot about
to manage their golden generation. Like, have you ever heard of a Norwegian golden generation? The one time they have it, you bring in Solskjaer.
They're going to try to get content.
Yeah, I don't see that happening, honestly. I don't see him getting a job anywhere with any decent side.
Yeah.
Which I think Norway have the potential to be. So, yeah, it's like, if he left at the summer, you say, look, he took a bad squad.
Unbelievable job.
Fixed Luke Shaw's career, all this kind of stuff.
Yeah, he did exactly like he steadied the ship.
Yeah.
But now he steadied the ship and then they kept him too long and he's fucked it again.
Well, the steadying the ship argument. Like, how long is a ship steady enough where you want to actually now go somewhere with the ship?
When you finish third and then you finish second, that's steadied. That's good to go to the next step now, which he couldn't do.
Yeah, no, now is definitely, I think, the time to say, look, he peaked and ran the downward spiral here, downward slope, whatever you call it. Yeah. That the peak was the peak. Last year was, and look, Liverpool obviously had a bad year. Chelsea had that nonsense with Lampard at the start that cost them, some of the season. City were really, really good, and that's how kind of got to second. Tottenham were good with Kane, but they fell away a bit. Arsenal were brutal. Leicester fell away as they did because you can't compete with the squad. So like there was a lot of things that went well for United last year to get to second. So it's kind of, now again you say, well, you bring in Varane and Sancho, sure that makes you better. So that's why the disappointment is so huge, because like they were on the right track, they improved, you got the players, and it's just it's not going well now. So
it's back to square one. Yeah.
But look, we could we could continue doing this all day, really. But we've been doing this all week. We've been doing it for weeks now, saying why it's not going well. But yeah. There's no Champions League now this week, is there? There's no cup games.
There's the Carabao Cup.
Is it cup games?
Yeah.
Oh fuck, there's cup games.
Carabao Cup, yeah. But that's why it's probably a good time to sack Ollie, because we're out of that.
Yes. Yeah, it'll be
So they have a week off, like, pretty much until the weekend.
4 week. I suppose we'll be back there on Thursday for that. We'll do what were we, quarterfinals, semi-finals for that at this point? Surely it must be it.
Oh, probably quarterfinals, yeah.
So yeah, that's midweek. And look, Carabao Cup, these games aren't always great. So therefore, if we say that, they'll probably be really good. So you want just to quickly say this is going to be shy, and then we can have a good.
These are going to be awful.
Yeah,
These are going to be
boring.
Terrible.
Tuesday,
games.
Wednesday games. No one cares about second teams, bad teams. This is you know.
We probably won't even do another episode this week. There'll probably be no reason to.
Nah, you know what? If there's nothing good happening, we'll leave it. How about that?
yeah. Anytime we do that, nothing good ever happens.
Honestly, that is nonsense. Nonsense. All nonsense. But listen, I've been on that road before.
Nonsense. Talking nonsense. Why should we accept somebody talking nonsense? Like, what would you say? Just why are you talking nonsense about us? Why are you talking rubbish?